Hey love, I'm Gina. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach who helps women find relief from food obsession, body shame, and perfectionism so they can feel calm, confident, and strong without obsession. If you're exhausted from overthinking food, afraid of weight gain, or stuck trying to do everything right but still never feeling enough, you're in the right place. I know this terrain deeply. I've lived through restriction, treatment, binging, rebuilding, and the identity loss that comes with letting go of control. And now I help women stop punishing themselves, rebuild trust with their bodies, and create strength and health that actually feels sustainable. This is a space where healing and body goals get to coexist, where fitness doesn't cost you your peace, and where you don't have to do this alone. Take a breath. You're safe here. This is the Fit Without Obsession podcast. I know this episode goes against everything that you think and also hope, because when we start our healing journey, we want things to get easier as we go. We want things to feel better. Like we expect that we're finally going to see that just promised dream life that we're working towards. But honestly, it actually gets harder before it gets better. And I don't say that to scare you, but I do say that so that we can almost expect that and know that that's not a sign to quit, but it's a sign to work through, right? Because I know if you've already started your healing journey and you're stuck in this place where you thought it would get easier by now, you maybe have made some progress, but somehow it still feels harder, or you're not where you used to be, but you're also not fully free yet. That is a very normal place to be landing right now. Feeling like you're stuck in the middle, feeling frustrated, feeling in this place of questioning if it's even working. And right now, you're at this place where you're why does this feel harder now than when I started? So I want to go into why this is the case, because it is supposed to feel this way. In the beginning, whenever you commit to something, even think of a different time in your life. I know I've talked to clients about this, if they've chosen sobriety, right? In the beginning, if you've ever tried to go alcohol free, maybe the first few days, even first week, you feel freaking on top of the world. You're I'm doing great things. I'm committing to my health. Maybe, yes, there's some sacrifice, right? I'm not going to say it's all rainbows and butterfly, but everything feels new and hopeful, right? The same thing happens when we're trying to heal our relationship with food in our body. You're riding the momentum in the beginning. You're okay, this is scary. I am doing different things. I'm eating more. I'm working out less. I'm resting. I'm doing the things. But guess what? This feels good because I know I'm finally committing to healing. But then we get down the road, maybe a few weeks, a few months, maybe even years if you're on this long journey. And now that you're deeper in it, that newness is gone. You are actually having to face those patterns way more directly. And you're at a place now where you're not avoiding things anymore. You're actually feeling things now. And you can't go back to old habits as easily, but new ones don't really feel natural yet. And that in-between space is really uncomfortable. It's really what happens, when we're shedding an old identity and stepping into a new one. Anytime we have that transition, where you're not fully embracing that new place yet, that is hard. It feels weird. It feels ungrounding. It feels like you need somewhere to land. And it can feel, honestly, really distressing in the moment, right? And I call this place in healing the messy middle, right? Because this is actually where I spent a lot of my journey. I feel like I was the most stuck here. I felt like it was actually least or I guess less stuck than when I first started my healing journey, because at least then, I was freshly committed, right? I was freshly stepping out of that old place. But once I got further into healing, I felt weird. I felt like I didn't know if I was doing the right things. I felt like I didn't know if it was even worth it. And this is honestly the phase where most people quit. So that's why I want you to be super hyper aware of it, because I don't want you getting to that place where you do feel like you have to give up. Because in this moment, it looks like less instant wins. You don't necessarily have all the people cheering for you. I know when I first started healing from my eating disorder, I had a lot of love. I had a lot of people in my corner. And I'm not saying that all those people all of a sudden didn't care, but they moved on with life, right? It wasn't this big new thing where I was really severely struggling with food. I started to get somewhat better. So people kind of, thought that I was good, right? You probably too, if you're stuck in this messy middle place right now, feel that progress is getting slower for you. And you're in a place where you start questioning everything. But this is really where like discipline matters more than motivation. And this is not the type of discipline that I always like negatively talk about, right? Like pushing through no matter what and like not actually listening to your body. No, like discipline, the healthy form of discipline is actually just like showing up for yourself, like over and over, like in a way that you deserve. That does matter more than motivation. Like motivation is very fleeting. We cannot do anything in life relying solely on motivation. I wish all of us could wake up every single day, like just ready to hit the ground running, ready to like heal our relationship with food and show up at work and do amazing and like be happy and like, no, we're humans. It's impossible, right? I mean, that's it. Yeah, it's just like that's an alternate reality where that would be all the time happening. But like, again, in the messy middle is where this identity of yourself, like, is that going to actually start to shift? And here's what most people do here. And this is why they stay stuck, right? And this is what I want you to avoid. Usually when people are stuck here, like they start going back to old habits because that feels easier. They start to feel uncomfortable and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to maybe controlling food a little bit. Like I might start tracking my food, or I might, skip a couple of meals here and there. They try to tighten that control again in other areas, even with like movement, even with like their routine. They think that they need this like new plan, right? Because clearly in their head, like they're feeling off. So like what they're doing must not be working. And then they, again, convince themselves that this isn't the answer, that it's not going to work long term. But really, if you are stuck here, like you do not need a new plan. You actually just need to double down and keep doing it. You need to stay with the one you're building. That's the hard part. I mean, consistency is literally probably the answer to like everything. And no one wants to hear that because it sounds oversimplified. It sounds like, well, duh. But like not no one. Let me take that back. A lot of us struggle with consistency, right? Like that's why it takes effort and determination to be consistent. It's not an easy thing. Even though like on paper, again, it sounds like it is. It's truthfully not. So I want to go into like what's actually happening for you, like in this moment, and why it feels worse, why it feels ungrounding, why you feel unsettled. It feels harder because you're actually growing, right? Like growing is uncomfortable. Think about like when you went from like, I don't know, being in middle school to high school. Ooh, that was uncomfortable, but you had to go through that to become like the person you are today, right? Like this middle ground feels harder because you're aware now too. Like you have so much like self-awareness. Like that's huge. Think back to a time where you didn't even know that like cutting calories was bad, right? Like you know so many things now, so that can almost make it harder sometimes. And it also feels harder because you're doing things differently, honestly, right? Like you were doing things one way for a long time. I have clients that have dieted for like 20 plus years. It's gonna feel weird at first to not do that. And it's not you failing, this is you outgrowing your old patterns. And that's like the most crucial part of healing. So that's why we have to stick in it. So I do want to keep this simple and not overwhelm you, right? Because I know that, we're feeling stuck. I want you to know how we can maintain momentum, even when it feels hard, so that you can get to the other side where you feel fully healed, where things do feel easier, where you do feel like you're not in this middle stuck place anymore, right? Like the first thing is anchor back to basics. Again, like boring consistency is way more important than having these like emotional swings. So that is like not skipping meals. That is not compensating. That is showing up even when it's not perfect. I know, boring, right? But guess what? It matters, right? Also stop chasing motivation because like I said, it's going to drop and that's normal. So I want you to focus on showing up anyway, even when it feels blah or hard. Like I know that if you have like struggled with over exercising or compensating, you've made yourself go to the gym when you didn't feel like it, right? You know how to do that. You know how to push through when there's not motivation. So let's apply that to like healing. Let's apply that to the things that we actually need to be doing to step into this healed, grounded version of yourself. The next thing too is to expect resistance. Like there's gonna be urges to go back. Know that that's coming. Be ready for it. Be prepared. You're gonna have thoughts like this isn't working. I literally still have thoughts like that randomly. I'm like years into healing and I know how to work through that, right? Because I expect it. But like you're human. It's going to happen. Resistance is part of the process, but it's not a sign to stop. And then also, I want you to shrink the focus. So don't try to like overhaul your life. Don't try to fix everything. Don't try to like zoom out and like go back to the drawing board and like plan out the next few months of healing. Like, no, just focus on today. Focus on one meal. Whatever one is in front of you, focus on the one decision at a time. Keep it small and doable. That's going to be what's going to allow you to keep going and not to get overwhelmed in all of it. And honestly, Like, I was in my middle phase for a while, like I said. I think, like, what happened for me, too, is that, like, I had so much, I guess, up and down with my weight that once I finally stabilized my weight, you would think from the outside, like, that I was, like, healed, right? But that almost made it harder because I had to figure out a way to stay consistent with what I was doing, because before I had been in a state of either gaining a lot of weight quickly or losing a lot of weight fast, and I actually was just in the state of maintenance. And maintenance is hard, guys, like, because it feels unexciting. It feels like, what's the point of this? But, like, that's actually how I learned to finally feel good around food. That's how I learned to actually take my self-worth out of what I was eating and the movement I was doing or the weight on the scale. I had to be in that place of almost being a little bit stagnant, right? And I just kept showing up anyway. I didn't go back to my old habits. I would have moments where if, I was feeling like I was struggling with my own, like, self-doubt or whatever it is, my old habit would be to, like, buckle down on food, buckle down on workouts, try to control my body. That's what would help me feel grounded. And I actually chose not to do that. I tried to actually ground myself in other ways. And that's how I found journaling. That's how I found, like, meditation. That's how I found visualization and praying and all these other things outside of just trying to double down on my body. Right? And I want you to know, like, the truth is, the people who actually heal are not the most motivated. They're the ones who keep going when it's not exciting anymore. The separator of who actually finishes the healing journey is the people that, like, start and give up versus, like, the people that actually start and continue. Right? So I want you to be one of those people that chooses to continue. And if it feels harder right now, you're probably in the exact place you need to be. Like, I know that's hard. You're like, if you're just feeling like you're looking for the next podcast episode to, like, help ground you. I mean, I hope I'm grounding you through this, but there isn't necessarily, like, another plan or another answer or something you're doing wrong. Like, you're probably actually doing everything right. Because I don't want you to confuse discomfort with failure. Like, don't quit in this phase that actually is going to create change for you. You do not need to start over. You just really need to keep going right now. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode made you feel seen, understood, or a little less alone, make sure you're following so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you feel called to share, you can tag me on Instagram at @thefitbean_. I love connecting with you there. If you're ready for deeper support, whether that's calming food obsession, rebuilding trust with your body, or getting stronger without slipping back into old patterns, you'll find ways to work with me linked in the show notes. And remember, you are not broken. You are not behind. And you don't need to earn your worth through control. You can want peace and strength. You can heal and build a body you feel at home in. I'm rooting for you always. Talk soon.